What's going on, you guys? Seth here, founder of Hidden Studios, lead developer of Mr. Abraxas. And in this video, what we're going to do is talk about basically Mr. Abraxas. We want to showcase you everything that you need to know and what you want to know about the upcoming title, Mr. Abraxas. Now, we're also going to talk about why we chose to partner up with Polygon Labs and why we believe that we two are a match made in heaven to move in the space of the Web3 industry forward and showing that this space actually could be good for people. So, what is Mr. Abraxas is an action role-play game where you live inside of the universe of the SCP Foundation. Now, we wanted to create an open world MMO of the SCP Foundation because we wanted the people to experience how we believe it would feel to live in a world full of superpowers, anomalies, and just in this crazy world with all of these scary creatures and just all of these concepts. So we wanted this to show how we believe that this world will work. So you guys that's a part of the SCP Foundation community, you guys will see some of your favorite anomalies. You might see all of them due to how much content we can create and stories we can create behind these things, and just see how would they work inside of a world. So if you watch content creators like XSP Explained, you will see that we will take a lot of concepts from those guys and then put it into the world, and you actually see how we will integrate our creativity with how we will believe that these guys will work inside of a real world, and what would happen if SCP-682 had escaped, or if the old man escaped and made a containment breach. Then how would that look inside of an actual world and how humanity will react to it. So we wanted to create something different and bring something that you don't have inside of Web 2 into the Web3 gaming industry. And we're actually going to go over some of the things that we are doing differently than what you see currently inside of the space. So what are we doing differently? We are taking a stab at something that just aren't being done inside of the space. We're making an open world MMO. Of course, that stuff is being done, but we wanted to make a role-playing game where you can actually just play the game with your friends and role play whatever it is that you want. They will be filled with content on a playtest tool that's coming out on July 1st, 2023. You will see that we are actually integrating 7 different missions inside of it. And this is just early alpha missions just to see if the quest system works really well. So you guys will actually learn about the story and learn what's going on in the world, and basically find out how New York, the island, has become this place. And when the goddess Abraxas has waken up from the tree of knowledge being stolen, and she flooded the earth, and then she merged all the realms together, how all of these realms came into one, and how New York now looked the way it does, where all of these places are just put in, just basically like New York just got hit with a reality or like a realm tornado, and just places just aren't in New York is there, and just is just crazy. You have to get into it to see what we're talking about. The map is massive, and you guys are gonna like it. So we could have created a battle royale. We chose not to do that because we see where Battle Royale is going. We could have created a extraction game, which our game is full loop PvP due to the fact that we are highly inspired by Grand Theft Auto roleplay. But we just don't want you guys to just be sitting there talking with your friends, robbing each other, or just doing silly things. We actually want to give you guys something to do inside of the game as well, give you some content and that you guys can enjoy. So we didn't wanted to create an extraction game at first, but we changed our mind because we seen that the extraction genre is becoming a cash grab. So we wanted to bring something different. So we just said we're going to take the role play aspect and just have it where you guys are able to do missions. But if you guys do choose to get into the PvP sector of the game, it is full of PvP. But when you do go out and raid, like go to buildings and abandoned buildings, bandit markets, bandit malls, and all these type of things, just places that you see and find loot at, when you take it back to your hideout, you don't actually leave the map. You actually have to go wherever you have a home at. So, or a bank, which is owned by players, which you'll get into the economy further on into the video. We do believe that we'll be the first of many things, and this is exactly why we partner up with Polygon Labs, because we see that they are the first to move forward in this space when it comes to actually not just mass adoption, but just trying to show people that Web3 is more than just price go up, price go down. And it's something that we just take pride in ourselves. So we believe that we are a match made in heaven because we both have the same type of values. We don't care about the price go up, price go down. We just want to create something that's going to be here for the long term. So that was our goal from the gate. We never believed in how Web3 is being handled now. We just don't see it having any growth, as you guys can actually see. Everybody is talking about how everything is wrong with the space, due inside of the bear market, which we led with our project and going into all of these spaces that we have gone into, which everybody disagree with our way of how we do things, due to the fact that we always promote that the bear market has nothing to do with gaming. You should make a good game first, and for people to actually play the game has to be enjoyable, and for anything to be viable, like NFTs or digital assets, for people to want to own them, they have to want to play the game, and for people to have to sell them, somebody has to want to buy them for that person to actually be able to make any money inside of the game. So there has to be some reason for someone to actually want the product that's inside of the game for anything to be sold. So we led with that. Another thing that we led with was we are a studio, which means we are a business. When we was talking about that, other projects in this space was always saying that running a business is Web2 things. We never believed in that. We knew that we have to become an IP, a brand, something to give people to care about for this to succeed. And we see that's what Polygon Labs are doing. So we believe that these guys have our same values and morals. So we wanted to partner up with those guys. And we believe that this platform is the only platform that we'll be able to grow on and actually get to the places that we need to be. For example, like partnerships with Nike, partnerships with Starbucks, partnerships with Dr. Disrespect, partnerships with companies that actually want to move the space forward, move the industry forward, and didn't run due to the bad times and actually continue to build. And I'm talking about the big companies, not the projects like myself and stuff like that. I'm talking about the big companies that see the value in Web3. Polygon sees that, and the other companies sees that, and we want to be a part of that mission to bring that inside of the gaming industry and just take the space forward where something that's built off of traditional and actual passion and with the understanding of how just basic supply and demand works. So we will get into that in the future about how our economy works inside of this video. You guys are gonna love every moment of it. Now we understand the backlash from gamers when it comes to NFTs inside of gaming or any type of blockchain integration inside of gaming. We understand we are big fans of Kyber TV, Column, Strive Strayford, Asmongold, Big Fry, all of these guys. We understand everything that they saying and all of the comments that the gamers are saying. Trust me, I am the one that does all the research here. I listen to every single one of you guys. I'm actually a hardcore gamer myself, so I'm actually on the side of you guys. But I do believe that when Web3 is done right, this actually could be a great use case for gaming instead of being like the other projects are saying, well, when there is a good game out there that does the Web3 right, then get Web3 be able to get ready for mass adoption. That is not our goal. We're not sitting here waiting on another project to be the one that actually makes to do the right thing inside of Web3. We will actually be the project to be the one that actually do the right thing and show gamers that we aren't here for corporate greed. We aren't here to take your money. We aren't here to just try to just lift our bags and just dump on the community. We actually want to create a dope project, build a dope community, and build an IP with characters that you guys are actually going to care about. So just like Elder Ring and the Dark Souls series has the undead, then you have the Dragonborn. We are introducing the concept of a type of just a being that you will play with as a D-class personnel that was framed by the SCP Foundation called God Whisperers. Now, you have to play the game to get the full story about God Whisperers, but trust me, this is something that Death Battle will be able to do episode on to see how bananas God Whisperers actually are. So, you guys will love every moment of that. Please come and play the play test, and you guys will see what being a God Whisperer is like. Speaking of the God Whisperers, let's talk about the stories inside of the game. There are story missions, and we believe that we're the only multiplayer game inside of the Web3 industry that actually has a story mode that is like ESO.
I am the overlord of the scums, the king of Claw City. I will kill you if you ever try to cross me. So what brings you to my parts? I thought you'll never ask. Only the most ruthless can be a part of the scum. We just don't give a shit.
Which is Elder Scrolls Online. Our quest system is basically exactly like Elder Scrolls Online.
There is a big scary man who has caught the clockwork virus. He was once a SCP guard. He has captured me tenant.
It's multiplayer. You guys can do them together, or you can play the game solo. But right now, we're using some AI generated voice just to show you guys the concept of when we actually put the real voice actors inside of the game, but the concept of how the game will play out with voice acting and just basically it's make the world feel alive and everything like that. So not only will you have voice actors, but you also will have a living, breathing world with animals, creatures from different realms, NPCs walking around, like civilization, where you can actually rob them, kill them, talk to them. Even if you're a police officer, you can actually talk to them, which you got this idea from Red Dead Redemption. You can talk to them and get clues on where other players are at, or whatever the case may be. So it's a pretty cool thing. We want to bring the world alive in some of this stuff so that we're doing here. And a lot of the things that we're talking about, you can actually play test now inside of the play test, depending on when you're watching the video. If you're watching the video a little later in life, we're probably way further than where we are. But right now, you could test a lot of these things that we're going to be talking about inside of this video, inside of the play test. But again, this is all we do. We sit here and build the game. We didn't contract the game out to other developers. We are the developers working on the game. So a lot of people would be so mind blown how much work we have done. It's because we don't have to wait on anybody else. We are actually the people that are actually working on the game, and I'm the lead developer, so I work on the game the most. So I sit here basically all day in my battle station here and work on the game. Actually, after I'm done this video, I'm going to work on the game. So that's why so much work being done. And if you want to see just everything that we're talking about being put in the game, you want to basically be one of our playtesters. You get to see everything, go from potato to masterpiece inside of this space. You guys will be able to be part of history. Now, we are a very small team. We're a team full of passionate people that want to bring some of the values that we have grown up on. We believe that entertainment as a whole is just in a terrible place, and we want to bring the golden era of gaming back. We just bring a lot of the concepts that we used to have in such games as like Mass Effect, Skyrim, San Andreas, all of these big games that we grew up on and gained a love, that you just don't see none of these concepts inside of gaming now due to a lot of corporate greed and stuff. So we are a group of devs that want to actually create a game that we want to play. So we're just tired of the games that we're given. And so we said we're going to create our own games. So we're actual developers. We did not go hire people from Fiverr. We don't go contract this stuff. We didn't say, hey, our game development team or whatever the case may be. We are actually the game development team. Our artists are all of our art is hand drawn. We don't do any AI and this type of stuff like that. So we wanted to do something different where when we do put our community members inside of our game, we actually give them something that's authentic and it's actually planned out and, just for something that they see that was made with care. So everything that we're doing inside of the game is made with care. We developed the game. Well, we didn't do it this month because we wanted to hide everything that we're actually giving to them inside of the Playtest 2 to show how different from Playtest 1 and how much growth we have done in Playtest 2. So we wanted to hide everything. So we didn't go live this month, but we do go live with our community to show them actually everything that we're doing, how games are being built, and like how the industry of games are being built, and what to actually look for when you see other projects saying they're going to build a game, and just how to basically spot out scams. So we actually show that. We show everything that they need to see and just give them the comfortability and just the insurance that we are who we say we are and what we are. Okay, so you can actually come into our community and see everything that we're doing. We're very transparent here. We don't use transparency as a buzzword. We're super transparent, a little too transparent when it comes to how we even just letting people play the game throughout the whole development so we can get the idea from them. Due to the fact that you guys will be the ones that's playing the game, we aren't going to be the only ones playing the game, because if we wanted to just make a game for us, we would just make the game for us and no one else will be able to play it. So due to the fact that you guys are the community, and you guys are going to be the one that's playing this game, and you're going to be the ones that's making content for the game and playing the game for hours or making this game a part of your life. We want to listen to you guys. Instead of hiring a bunch of game testers, we wanted to make sure that we give you guys a chance to actually see how the game is being developed, everything, to basically see the game go from Play-Doh to a masterpiece, and to see that everything that we're talking about and promising is actually real, and we're not going to give you the runaround on just basically scope creeping, just add more things and more things and more things and never get the game out there. So we don't plan on doing any type of things like that you see inside of the gaming industry today. One thing that we did that's completely different that you have never seen in this space is actually adding our community into our game. So one thing that we know is we're creating a huge universe, a huge IP, and a huge brand here. So that means I have to come up with a lot of names and a lot of characters, which I'm very bad at names. So instead of typing inside of ChatGPT, just finding the names, what I decided to do was use our community members and make them a part of our game. So potentially being one of the biggest things in gaming, we wanted to give that opportunity to where our community can forever see themselves a part of a game, a part of a project, and it's actually give them the feel that they're part of something. So what we do is hand draw them. This is one of the artwork we're working on now, and this one actually has something to do while it foreshadows the future of one of the seasons that we'll be having inside of the game. Now, when I say seasons, we're talking about an update. No battle passes will be part of this game. Trust me, you have it on video that we will never sell a battle pass. Okay, but this right here, this picture is one of our community members, Cedric. He is actually going to be one of the villains in the future update of the game, and you will see who he's actually summoning. You guys will love that. But other than him, you can also meet other members in our community inside of the game, like Trevor, a hotel mogul, who is a very powerful man who has caught the clockwork virus, which is a new variant of it that turns humans into cyborgs that give them superhuman abilities. Well, some people aren't as lucky as Trevor. Then you have his bigger brother, which is Warren G, not the rapper, but he is a huge businessman who is something like BlackRock, who basically want to own all of the businesses and control what the people of Hidden sees, which Hidden is the new name of America. Then you have Prince Portfolio, which is my best friend. With Prince, his name is Prince, but he has a business called Prince Portfolio, which he is my best friend, and he's a big fan of cars. And we have a car business, which one of the car businesses inside of the game, which is one of the franchises, is inside of the game, is Prince Portfolios, which you can actually own it as a player, own the franchise of it, and since he loves cars, we gave him basically the backstory of this franchise, this company right here, which is Prince Portfolio, and you will actually learn inside the game how he came up with the concept of creating the most futuristic cars in the future. Or you will meet President Grant Glass, where you see how he became president by being chosen by the corrupted SCP Foundation, and now he is there as a plant to basically make everyone money and keep basically civilization as you see today. Okay, so we pull off a lot of inspirations of what you see today, what's going on, and we actually going to be a parody of real life, something similar like GTA, but we're going to have a lot of hard aspects inside of our game. There's a lot of more community members that you'll see inside of our game, such as Lexi, which also has caught the new strain of the clockwork virus, and she has became a cyborg woman who went and created her own basically civilization of cybernetic women by giving them the clockwork virus, and they all called the Cyberzons. Now, a lot of the women did not make it as she was doing this experiment, but some who were lucky enough to get basically superpowers has become Cyberzons, which is cybernetic Amazons. You guys are gonna love them, they're pretty cool. Now that you have met the community members, let's go into the factions you'll meet. You have 4 factions that you'll meet so far that's inside of the game as of right now, which you have Hack, the Hack organization, which is a counterpart to the SCP Foundation, and all of the other foundations that's like the SCP Foundation but are basically counterparts of the SCP Foundation. You guys will meet all of them as well inside of the game. Then you have the 4th, which are aliens that came to Earth after Abraxas has awakened and merged all the realms together. So now they're here to do research on even the new anomalies that's on Earth, because humanity is anomalies to them as well. So they're coming to do research on humans and the new creatures and entities that are on Earth. Then you have the Scum, which are just bandits that do not care about nothing or life period at all. And these guys are doing businesses with some of the entities, basically like doing deals with devils, and using this power that they're obtaining to gain money and more street cred inside of basically the street gang war that you will see inside of the game as well. And then, last but not least, you have the Cyberzons, which is created by a community member, Lexi, and you actually see how you could be a part of them, which we have a gender system, which they're not too fond of men. So you can be a part of them if you're a man, but you have to do extra work to be a part of them, which goes into the missions. The decisions you make inside of the game also create how the NPCs actually react to you. So saying the wrong thing actually can make them attack you or make them never want to deal with you ever. But if you're a woman, they will welcome you with open arms. So these are the factions, and we're going to go into how the NPCs react to you with some of the systems and gameplay loops that you have inside the game. Let's go into that, and then after that, we'll go into the ecosystem of how the whole economy works with supply and demand. So there is a moral and a respect system. So when we see games that say, well, choose your destiny, however you want to become and stuff like that, that did exist back in the days. Nowadays, that does not exist. So we wanted to bring that back. And we are taking highly inspirations from the game Fable. So we have a moral system inside of the game. So killing NPCs sometimes may be needed because you may be broke and you might hit the jackpot by getting some money when killing NPCs. But killing NPCs also can actually give you a bad moral score. And the NPCs inside of the game that will talk to you will actually react to if you're a good guy or a bad guy. But some of the NPCs will actually work with you if you are a bad guy and will not work with you if you are a good guy. So this gives everybody a difference of play. So you could be in the middle as well, and the concept and everything of the game will change, and just the dialogue and everything. Just it's so many different things that we're doing with how this can be integrated inside of the blockchain. You guys will see that. Also, we have a respect system, which if NPCs respect you, due to like if you found captured the SCP, killed the SCP, found a certain item, killed a certain player that's went rogue, or basically did a certain mission inside of the game, the NPCs will know about it, and then they will respect you and give you a quest. Now, something that we're doing different with blockchain that no other game has done is that our NPCs will actually interact with you if you hold a certain NFT in your wallet. So the game will read the wallet that the game makes for you, so you don't have to go make a wallet and stuff like that. So when you come into the game, it makes your wallet automatically. So if you're not into blockchain at all or care anything about blockchain, you do not have to care about blockchain side at all. But the game will make your wallet just in case you do become interested in the blockchain. So everything that you mint and stuff like that or collect will go to that wallet, and everything that you do purchase outside of the game will go to, if you just send it to this, you got to send it to the wallet at that time, right? Or you can use that wallet to purchase as well. But if you do send it to the wallet or use this wallet to purchase, then and some NPCs will actually be able to know if you hold that item, and then they will either not talk to you, like they will have some will be completely rude, which we have one of our games that we have in our studio that we're integrating inside of this game, whereas a character from that game, which is a story driven narrative game, and so you basically play that game and basically find out what's going on in that story. And then if you meet her inside of the world, which you have to meet her because the world is big, you have to go find her first because the world is big. If you meet her, and when you meet her without the NFT, she won't talk to you. And just give you an example how this works. And if you do have the NFT from that game by playing that game, and you have the NFT, then she would actually open up a dialogue and give you a complete whole different attitude and everything like that, and give you a mission where you can get rare loot by playing that game. So this is something that we are integrating inside of our game, where we can use this with integrating with other games and stuff like that. So if you have NFT for another game, and then you come and see their character inside our game, if that character reads that you have an NFT inside that in your wallet, then they will actually give you missions. So this is something that we're integrating, and this is how we will bring interoperability inside of our game to the space, bringing something different inside of theirs. We're actually using this concept with the partnership of Polygon with Starbucks. We're making a parody of Starbucks called UGel. So if the game reads that you have a Starbucks NFT, you actually will be given a UGel franchise, which is a business inside of the game that sells coffee. It's basically good for energizing the player, and it sells donuts and muffins and stuff like that as well. But it's a parody of Starbucks, and you guys will be able to get that as well. So we're using a lot of different innovative things inside of this concept of NFTs with our NPCs. And one of the things that we are actually working on is smart AI, where you'll be able to use this thing right here to actually talk to the AI, and the AI will actually respond to you for whatever you say. Another thing they'll be doing is they will never, like how you see on Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, they will never say the same thing to each other or say the same thing that you see, because they will be pulling from the internet and just having conversations, and they will be actually getting to know the world. So if it's raining in the world, they will talk about it. If you know they're late for work, they'll talk about it. And it's basically AI learning and stuff that we got to train. And this is what playtesting come into play, is because you guys get to train the AI as well. So playtest the game. Now, the part that everybody is waiting for, the economy, how does it work? Now, I would like to make this announcement that we are not a play to earn game.
Thank you.
So I want you guys to know that you can earn inside of the game. We did not want to create the wheel. We did not want to reinvent something that already works inside of gaming, which games like Second Life, Entropia Universe, and even World of Warcraft is doing it right now. We didn't want to create something that's just doesn't work. We've seen it for 2 years. It does not work. So you can earn inside of the game, but nothing is free. So what that means, I'm not talking about inside of the game, just the concept of I do nothing, I make millions of dollars, win Lambo, win Moon. We don't have that concept. We never lived by the concept. And our community that we started with before we are actually introducing ourselves to the world of Web3, we're actually Web2 people in the first place. So we come from kind of the Web2 background. So our community didn't understand the win moon stuff in the first place. So how do you earn inside of our game? Let's get that first part out of the way. There are things called keys, which are basically debit cards. And these keys allow you to convert the in-game currency into our native token. So that's how you'll be able to earn inside of the game. But you have to have a key. You have to own it. You can rent one from a player, which we have community members that have a lot of those. So you can rent one from them. Or you can buy them, which if you buy them, they come with a lot of goodies as well. But that's that. You don't have to buy them. You can also just rent them if you want to earn inside of the game. Also, our ecosystem is built on supply and demand, mirroring the real world. So what does that mean? Crafting is huge inside of the game. Working is huge inside of the game. Collecting is huge inside of the game. Raiding is huge inside of the game. PvP, all the type of things. So how does all that work? We have multiple tiers of different types of ways you can earn. We have businesses, we have franchises, we have land, and we have hideouts. Now these are the 4 pillars of how our economy works, which creates supply and demand. Businesses are not ran by NPCs, and these are things that you could run like realtor companies, car shops, used car shops. You can have a franchise that sells cars as well. You can do cooking, which you have restaurants that's fresh franchises, but you can actually be a chef inside of the game by learning different recipes. You can actually sit inside of your shop and cook for people. Mining, lumbering. When it comes to the land, we didn't want to do like just buy land and then you had to go hire somebody on Fiverr to come build something on your land. We didn't want to do that. We actually wanted to give you something that actually makes sense, where if you buy land inside of our game, you go to the city hall building that's inside of Ethel Heights, which is one of the cities inside of the game, and you register what type of business that you're going to place on that land, and then it goes into a building mode where when you go to your land, it goes into a builder mode, and you can basically place some of the things that you purchase from stores into there. So if you want to place a breeding farm in there, you have access to all the breeding farm basically assets. If you want to put a farm on there, you have all the assets to the farm. If you want to put a cannabis field, you have assets to the cannabis field, mining companies, blah, blah, blah. Same thing, right? But the difference is, if you want to open a mining company, it has to be a cave or something like that. So you can't just say, hey, I'm going to get a plot full of grass and this is going to be a mining company. It's not going to work. If you want to be a lumber field, it has to be trees there that can be cut down. You just can't say, I'm going to just put a lumber field here. But you can. You're just not going to make any money there. So it's up to you. So just be wise. We wanted to take the aspect of monopoly and bring strategic strategy when you buy these digital assets from us. So when you come or you have somebody play the game for you, you want to make sure they understand how real estate works. So this is another thing why we don't list our NFTs on marketplaces and stuff like that, because two people can actually buy the same NFT, and one of NFT can actually be priced higher than the other NFT due to the fact that that player has placed that NFT in a certain area that has shops, that has rare loot around it, has certain types of creatures around it, where people that will come to the area and engage more inside of that area. It all depends on who actually used to hold the NFT as well. Also, depending on some of the updates. So NFTs prices can go up and down. And how that works is not because of hype or any type of thing like that. Well, it does actually has to do something with hype, but that's hype of the community. I'm getting to that in a second. But it doesn't have to do with speculating hype. What I mean by that, you can never actually speculate on our NFTs. Here's why I'm saying that. Unless the community actually complains about something being too overpowered or something not being overpowered enough, then you guys can speculate. Well, and the speculation will become, well, will Hidden Studios buff this, or will Hidden Studios nerf this? And this right here, where it gives the community members the idea of they will never actually lose money. And this, we believe that this is how NFTs should be. So, for example, in an area that has very rare loot, or whatever the case may be, we would change the loot inside of that area. And changing the loot inside of that area can either buff the price of that the NFT or nerf the price of that NFT. But if you have the NFT and if you just didn't sell it in time, you still can hold it and you don't have to worry, because eventually when we buff that area again, the price of the NFT will go back up and probably go higher depending on what is in that area. So this is how things work here. So NFTs are priced due to the community, how the community plays the game, which that's how NFTs should have been in the first place. What the community do with inside of the project, it should be what buffs the price, not what the developer to sit here and promises you guys. So this is something that we wanted to bring something different to the table, where you guys actually control the price of NFT. Here's an example of what I'm saying by that. The NFTs all start off at the same price if no one knows what's in the area. So you guys have to go out in the area and actually go figure out, hey, I found shotguns in this area, very rare shotguns, very rare ammo, very rare artifacts, a lot of resources inside of this area. So that's when content creating comes into play. And then content creators will talk about, hey, guides and all that type of stuff like that. And what that will do will boost the price of that NFTs and whoever redeems their NFTs in that side. So how that works is when you buy an NFT, it comes with redeem codes, and then you play the game, you enter it, and when you go to the for sale signs inside of the game, which we'll place it up on the screen, when you go to the for sale signs in the game, you interact with the for sale sign, and then you basically place your redeem code in there, and then now you own that NFT, which that will go into the monopoly gameplay of it, So strategy, paying attention to what's going on inside of the gaming market inside there, which we will have a stock market inside of the game. And the stock market will basically tell people as well what businesses are doing great, what items are doing great, which we have a auction house, which is owned by players as well. And the auction house, the player who owns the auction house makes money on the buys and sells. So you find items inside of the world and then you sell them onto the auction house. So many different ways that we create supply and demand. So for example, how all the businesses connect with each other. So let's go into how all of the companies come together. You have the mining companies. Then you have the mining companies that work directly with the smelting companies, the blacksmith companies, and the weaponsmith companies. So if there are no mining companies in the server, then that server will have a problem with creating weapons and armor. If there are no lumber companies inside of a server, then that server will have a problem with creating furniture and some armor as well, and also weapons as well for like axes and stuff like that. Then you got transport. There's no transporting companies. It'll be very difficult for the businesses to actually get some of the resources from some of these land and stuff like that. So, another example is going to this. You have breeding farms and farms. The breeding farms breed the animals and then they sell them to the farm owners, and then the farm owners either take care of the animals or slaughter them and sell those the meat to the markets and the restaurants. So all of these things come together. So even you can be an architect and then you can also own a construction company. So architect what enters makes the game enters like a survival builder or a Minecraft type of feel, where those people who are architects will be able to build custom buildings onto players' land and also upgrade. But how do they do that? They need to get parts for this and resources. How do they get the parts and resources from that? They had to buy it from the construction companies and other companies that's like construction companies. For example, the mining companies that might need some type of ore or some type of bronze or whatever the case may be. And they would need to go get it from construction companies, get the resources from construction companies, and also go to the mining field. So this gives a supply and demand effect. It's very complex. The ecosystem is very complex when it comes to the economy here. You have to play the game. Playtest, again, we'll walk you through all of that. This playtest July 1st. Depending on when you see this video, the economy will be much, much bigger and much more complex. And it's something that you guys will be excited about. And it's something that you guys will want to learn about. And definitely, content creators, this is something you guys have been asking for and looking for inside of the space. We are giving that to you with Miss Story of Abraxas, guides, how-tos. We basically created this game for live streamers and content creators. Thank you guys for actually watching the video. Polygon, I want to thank you guys for actually giving us a chance to help you guys change the way the space is looked at and just building the future of gaming. If you guys have any questions, you want to make sure you join our Discord. You want to make sure if you playtest the game, you join our Discord, and we have a whole new website that we're integrating inside of the game with the AI. We'll actually be using it. This will be the social media of the AI. And they'll be talking about what's going on inside of the social media. The AI will be talking about that. You guys that's playing the playtest will be able to enter that first before we open it up to the public. So if you have any questions, make sure you join our Discord. We're here to answer any questions that you guys have. Sometimes just make sure you pay attention to our Twitter and our Discord to see that sometimes we go live and just basically see what's being built and how the game is moving forward and just the progression of everything. And you guys will see how fast we go from what we were in playtest 1 to what we are in playtest 2 and the next integration to playtest 3, just to see how far that's going to be. You guys are going to love playtest 3. All right, so if you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Comment below, join the Discord, and with that being said, I'm out of here.